One thing I was not expecting here in Aurora is to run into an old buddy. We know each other from Vancouver. We competed, we tied for 4th. Everybody, please welcome 3-time finalist, 1-time silver medalist in the world champion, Aditya Maheswaran. How you doing,
everybody.
buddy?
Very well, John. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to see you again. Us bald Indian guys really dominated in 2017, didn't we?
Absolutely, didn't we?
Yeah, they didn't have a chance. Four Indian guys in that final.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and one of us won.
One of us
One of
did.
us won. Now I want to talk to you about competing. You have been in the finals 3 times. Now the question I get is, why do you keep trying? So I'm going to ask you your version. Why do you just keep trying?
Because we haven't summited yet.
That's right.
That's a simple answer. But I think, as you would know, John, very well, having contested and right up to the big stage.
Yeah.
Contesting is a shortcut to master certain skill.
Right.
What you take 3-4 years in Toastmasters through your project speeches, one round of contesting, if you go all the way,
Yeah.
is a proxy, is a shortcut to develop those skills. Because
Indeed.
you take the same speech, refine it, polish it, get more feedback, international audience. It breaks a lot of your fears. And I think that's one of the reasons that I keep competing.
You know, one of the things I'm realizing is you do your pathways presentations or whatever. You do it once, maybe twice, depending on the project. It's done. But you do a contest speech. You run that 50, 60 times.
Well said.
You can do it in your sleep by the end of it.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
all right. Now, is there anything you have learned at different competitions that keeps making you better?
Absolutely. So initially, when I look at my videos, even at the first World Championship in 2014 that I was in, I find myself pretty discreet in my communication. It's a little robotic. I touch the minds but not the hearts of my audiences.
Right.
So because you learn certain skills, you know your hands are a certain way, your voice is a certain way, so you focus more on the notes than the music, if you know what I mean.
That's an interesting way to
Right.
put it, yeah.
So how do you give an audience the experience of music and not just the notes of public speaking, which is your hands and the voice and the opening and the closure? So what I've learned over time is my job as a speaker is to master the notes, but to dissolve it and give them the music at the end of the day. So that's been my learning experience.
I'm tempted to say very poetic, but maybe it's very musical.
Musical, right.
What is a piece of advice you can give to speakers out there, regardless of whether they just did their icebreaker or they're competing for the World Championship in a couple of hours? What's something you can say to anybody that's going to improve their speaking?
One of the things that, I can only say from my experience, which I hope will help others, is the test of whether you've evolved as a speaker is how carefree you're able to be on stage. Not careless, but carefree you're on stage.
There's a difference.
Which means when you're on stage, if your hands can do its own job, your voice can do its own job, that your focus is just on the audience, humor, spontaneity, then you're carefree, like how we're talking today.
Yeah.
Why can't we be the same on stage? Then the audience sees a connect which they don't see when your mind is in the script or your hands or your voice. So that's my advice. So try to be carefree on stage, just like you would have a conversation with a friend over coffee and a nice evening.
Okay. Can you give the audience maybe one tangible thing they can start doing in their next speech to at least get them on the way to do that?
Right, that's a great question. If only we knew the answer. But one tangible tip could be is, as for example, a script. When we initially start public speaking, a script is very important, and we know more than anybody else. A script is important. But as you become a better speaker because of the script, you start attaching a value to the script that's made you a better speaker. But there is a point when you got to let go. And you become the center stage, not the script, not the hands, not the voice. So the transition is something many people miss because the script is luring. So how do you make yourself as the most important thing on stage and not the auxiliary items? Is something to introspect.
Okay.
I hate giving rules or tips or advice. It's a little abstract, but I'm sure you'll catch the point.
I think it is. All right, now this is a segment I do called Go Plug Yourself. So I'm going to want you to grab it. Don't grab any buttons or anything.
Yep.
This is your time. I'm going to step out of the frame entirely. Tell us what you're up to. If you want to plug your website, your YouTube channel, your Twitter, whatever, the time is yours, and then I'll come back and wrap it up, all right?
How long do I got?
As much as you want. This is your time. You're plugging
30
yourself.
seconds, baby.
As much as you want.
All
Just
right.
Don't touch a button.
Thank you, John. Doesn't the video look better with just me in it? So, my name is Aditya. So I am a leadership and management consultant. I work in a global management consultancy called Conferry. I also do a lot of great work by myself. I'm a coach. I coach people on public speaking, leadership skills. It's been a terrific journey for me in Toastmasters. You can follow me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Aditya Speaks, or of course on LinkedIn and other social media sites. I'm hoping to come up with a book on public speaking and leadership with my experience as a consultant and as a public speaker soon enough. And so if you're on my page, you'll be posted about it. Thank you. And thank you so much, John.
All right, Aditya. One thing I really want is I want to share the stage with you again one day, and I hope
We should.
maybe Paris.
Maybe
Make
Paris.
that? Let's make
Right.
that. All right.
If we aren't too drunk in Paris.
If I'm not too drunk in Paris,
We are not. Yeah.
maybe afterwards if we tie for fourth again.
Yeah.
All right. Keep it tuned right here. We have some of the best speakers in the world, people who have proven themselves on the biggest stage of them all.
Yeah.
Keep it right here, lastrites.com. That's LAST-WRITES.com. Together, you, I, and the greatest speakers in the world, like Aditya here, we are going to lay boring speeches to rest by giving them the last rites.
Cheers.